everybody can afford a glass of beer. That's what brings us all together, and it really is a communal drink, and it helps bring people together. I'm Neil Callahan. I'm the brand manager for Cigar City Brewing. We're a craft brewery based in Tampa, Florida. We were founded in 2007 by Joey Redner. He's a fifth generation Floridian. He's lived his whole life in Tampa, and he was looking around the Tampa Bay area and saw it was really under-indexed for craft beer. The whole metro area of Tampa Bay, it's about 3.2 million people, and at the time, in 2007, we only had 6 craft breweries. So he sort of saw a wide open playing field and wanted to tell the story of his hometown, the culture, history, and cuisine of Tampa through beer. And now here we are 12 years later, and we've grown up a little bit. Nationally, right now we're distributed in 49 states. Internationally, we're in over 16 international markets. Sweden is our biggest international market. We sell beer all over Asia, all over Europe. Central America, we're just starting to get into that market as well. So if you find yourself in Hong Kong and you want a High Life, you can get a High Life in Hong Kong now. It's pretty cool. We have produced somewhere over 2,000 different beer varieties. A lot of IPAs, a lot of imperial stouts, but if there's a beer style out there, we've brewed at least 1 or 2 versions of it. All of our beer, all beer in general, has got at least 4 ingredients: water, malted barley, yeast, and hops. So the process starts with the barley. For something like High Life, our base malt comes from Canada. We're using some specialty malt that comes from Europe for the color and the aroma that we're looking for. We're using hops from Germany or Czech Republic or from the UK. So we're literally sourcing ingredients from all over the world. Depending on the flavor, aroma, and the color that we're looking for, we're going to combine different types of malt and barley, put them into the mash tun, steep the barley in hot water. The hot water activates enzymes that convert starches to sugars inside of the barley. So he's taking the husks of the barley that's after the mash. We don't need the husks. Once we get the wort out, once we get that sugar water, we don't need the husks anymore. So we pull them out by hand into a big bucket essentially and send them off to a local farmer. And a local farmer uses it to feed his livestock. So the farmer's getting free feed, we're getting free grain disposal, and the cows are real happy about it. It's beautiful. So after steeping those grains in hot water to activate those enzymes for about an hour, we strain off the liquid, which is called wort. It's sugar water, it's unfermented beer. Move that off to a kettle, we bring it up to a rolling boil of 212 degrees. During that boil is when we're going to add our hops. Hops are the third ingredient, so the hops are going to impart bitterness, but they impart a lot of flavor and aroma as well. So for something like High Life IPA, the hops are where we're getting that tangerine, clementine, tropical quality. So after we boil the beer, we bring it down to fermentation temperature. We cool the beer down to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. It goes into one of these conical bottom fermenters here. That's where the 4th ingredient is waiting. That's where the yeast is waiting. We pitch yeast. We say Ian, the brewer, makes the wort. The yeast actually makes the beer. So it's what's turning that sugar water into beer, into the fizzy alcoholic substance we all know and love. So fermentation time for something like High Life IPA is about 17 days inside of these conical fermenters. Then we move it off to a bright tank, which is essentially a conditioning vessel. After a few days at the bright tank, it goes off into kegs, cans, and bottles. Cigar City Brewing wouldn't be where we are if it weren't for Tampa culture and the Tampa community. We've been incredibly fortunate to be embraced by Tampa and to be informed by Tampa. Something like High Life IPA, the inspiration for that beer and for the name comes from High Life, a game that is associated with Florida, or something like Maduro Brown Ale, which is named after a dark wrapper on a cigar, ties into Ybor City and to Tampa's cigar making history. So we wouldn't be what we are if we hadn't been embraced by the Tampa community. So we're incredibly lucky to be in Tampa and to share our beer and to share Tampa culture through beer with the world. At Cigar City Brewing, we're incredibly fortunate to really have a pretty diverse working staff here. We find that we get a lot of different people from different walks of life and different cultures all working together to help make this place really, really great. So we're incredibly fortunate in that sense. And beer is pretty universal. Everybody loves beer, so we're very fortunate to be able to travel around to different craft beer communities, nationally and internationally, and be exposed to sort of what they're doing with craft beer. So we've brewed collaborations with breweries in Iceland, Germany, Italy, Japan, in a lot of different parts of the world, and really what allows us to walk into another brewery is beer. That's what brings us all together, and it really is a communal drink. It's not like, I love wine. Wine's very expensive. Everybody can afford a glass of beer. So it really is a people's drink, and it helps bring people together.